Good morning. It is time for Art in the AM. It is 10:30 on Monday, and that is what time I have been going live since April 1st of 2020. So it's been almost 5 years of Art in the AM videos. And for the past several weeks, since the beginning of this year, I have been doing a series that I'm calling Word of the Week, or WOW. And today is actually number 12. I didn't realize that until I started counting up. So each week I have been using this journal, and it's a really nice watercolor journal. And I have been doing the word on a page, and then on the back I've been putting the word, the definition, the synonyms, the antonyms, usually like a quote, and if there's a color related to that specific word. Let me know if you're watching, whether you're here live or you're watching the replay, how many of them you've watched. Today's number 12, so I have done, I'm gonna count just to make sure. I counted all the Mondays, but I don't feel like I've done 11 of them so far. So I have one. We're here. I will show you while I'm counting. So this was the first one, Amplify. So that's number 1. Here is Inspiration, right? Oh, no, this was Precious. It's hard to read the words against the darker background there. So that was number 2. Number 3 was Dream. That was on Martin Luther King Day. Number 4 is Focus. And I know that these are backwards for you. Number 5 is Inspiration. And I have number 6, Innovation, because I was doing I words. And I lost count already. That was number 6. Here's number 7. It's Intuition. Number 8 was Imagination. Here's number 9 was Color. This is when we started talking about the elements of art. And then I lost count again. Was that maybe this is week 13. Now I have to count them again. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So in the number 10, we actually did 3 words that week, which were shape and line and space. And then last week, I actually did not finish this page yet. We talked about texture. So this was number 11, and I was talking about 4 different types of texture. Today, I'm going to talk to you about value. And value, tell me what you consider value. Like, what would you say the definition of value? I did bring my color wheel. I'm not going to use that one though. I have 2 different ones. So I was looking for this one. I was looking for this color wheel because it has the variations of the values of the colors on here. And I actually am probably going to use the back here, because right here, these 5 different spaces here from white to black show value really well. So I think I'm going to use those little spaces right there. But I'm going to go ahead and take a drink here. I don't see any of your comments yet, so I'm going to go ahead and I will give you the definition of value. Is pretty simple. It's just how light or dark a color is, how bright it is or how dark it is. Kind of, it's if you think about black and white, it's white to black. It's the value and all of those in between. So this on the back here has 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, and then 6 is the white. So it has 6 basically. Oh, and then it goes around in here. Never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it has 10 spaces. So it's going all the way from white to black. And that is what they call the gray scale. even though all of it is not gray, right? We have white and we have black, but they call it the grayscale. And this one has 10 different steps in there. And if you think about, I'm going to go ahead and I'll turn this down here and kind of show you what it is that I'm going to do with value on here. I'm going to do black and white, but then I'm also going to do a color. And let me know if you would like for me to do, I have these colors out on my table right here. Oh, here, I have 2 purples and I have 2 pinks. It's for another project that I'm working on. So I have these 2 pinks and I have these 2 purples, and this purple right here is metallic. That might be kind of fun. This one's more like a fuchsia. It actually is called fuchsia. And then I have royal fuchsia. So they're kind of similar. This has a little bit more purple in there. And then this purple one is called lavender. It's probably one of my favorites. So lavender, metallic, fuchsia, or royal fuchsia. So let me know in the comments which color while I'm doing the, I can't even do the, well, I'm going to do the black and white with something a little different. I'm going to make 2 grayscales on here. Hey there, Sandy. Now I can see. Hey, Marion. And I am going to, I'm just going to divide my paper like in half here. And I did not grab my ruler. So let me grab that. And I'm going to draw this in half. So one of the things I would say that probably value is one of the most valuable elements of art. And there are actually 4 different reasons why it is one of the most valuable elements of art. Do you happen to know what one of them might be? Why is it important to have different values in a piece of artwork? Because I will tell you, even if you can't describe why a piece of artwork just doesn't seem like it's very I don't know what's the word, like interesting, very dynamic. I kind of think of dynamic a little bit more. So I'm just kind of drawing a line across the middle here. And let's see, I have 8.5 inches. So maybe if I do a grayscale of 8 different ones, I'll do 8. So I'll leave a little bit of space on the ends here, because it's kind of hard to do over here in the, and I will just do 1 inch spaces for the grayscale. I saw where Marion made a comment there that one of the reasons why you want to have a, hey there, Sue. Oh, against my dress pattern. Thanks. I thought you made a comment about why values are important. You know, I think when you're looking at a piece of artwork, even if you have never studied the values, the elements, the principles of art, you kind of know when something just doesn't look as interesting, dynamic, if there's just kind of like something missing from it. I feel like you kind of know. And I think that that's the case with value. And then we're going to talk about contrast as one of the words for next month, which is a principle of art. But I think when you don't have enough contrast in the values, you don't have enough of some really light lights and some really dark darks, your artwork just isn't going to be as interesting. It's not going to be as dynamic. It's not going to have that kind of like wow factor. I think that that's what it is. It kind of doesn't have that wow factor if it's all just kind of medium kind of colors. So I have 2 grayscales that I'm going to do. I'm going to go from on my side, it's going to be white to black, and I'm probably going to do it upside down. So you're going to see black over here and then white. And then underneath, I'm going to do a color. So you are choosing if you want the fuchsia, the lavender, the metallic, or the royal fuchsia. Tell me which one of those you'd like to see. And I'm going to go from light to dark. But I did find a couple of black and white images that I wanted to show to you. And I want to show you why they show the full grayscale and why that makes them interesting. And I'm going to compare that to some other ones that I found. So I think first I'm going to show you this one. I've used this one a lot in some artwork that I've done. And it's mainly black and white. There's this gold earring here because it's an ad for jewelry on there. But I want you to notice that there is white in the eye, and there's these really dark values in the hair up here and like in the shadow of the neck. And then there's all of these different values in between there. Hi there, Shannon. And that's what creates this contrast and this range of values that gives it interest. If there weren't these dark darks and there wasn't the white of the eye, everything would just be kind of plain. There wouldn't be that dynamic part of it. Hi, Pam. And there's even, you know, some highlights in the ear, so it's not just in one spot. A lot of times the whitest white is where your eye goes to first, or the contrast. There's that really dark around the eye next to the white, so there's that contrast between the two. That's where your eye goes to. But it has like this full range of values. Have you ever seen a piece of artwork that is just kind of everything is like the same? There's no real dark darks. It really looks kind of unfinished because there's not those dark darks. And this one is another one that I found, and I don't know that this one shows as well that range, right? So there is the white in the eye, and it looks really white because of the contrast like around it. And there are some dark areas, you know, kind of up in here, but I don't see as much of the contrast in this one as I did that other one. There's still like a lot of the different values in there. And you may have, if you have a piece of artwork that you're working on and you just don't know exactly what it is, or it kind of feels unfinished, or you feel like you need to add something to it, take a picture of it in black and white. And you can start to see the different values, and you can see if maybe you need an area that's really, really bright. And normally that's like the very last thing that you add anyway. Or maybe you need something that's really, really dark to have the contrast. And then I wanted to show you a couple, these aren't finished pieces of artwork, but I want you to see this one. We talked last week about texture, and there is a lot of texture in this one, so that does create some contrast. But overall, this pink that's in the background, it's all one value. There's a little bit of variation kind of in a few little dark areas, but it's all kind of just one value. And it makes it look like it's kind of unfinished. There's no focal point. There's no place that your eye goes to, because there's, you know, except for kind of like the edges, because that's the contrast with the white of the paper against the pink. There's no real place where your eye goes to because there's just not a lot of contrast in there. Whereas this was just, you know, I think this might have been like some stencils or something I used. But this one at least has a little bit more, you know, there's dark next to the light here. So immediately when I look at this, isn't that where your eye kind of goes to, is like right along that line? It's because this dark value is next to a light value. And that's some of the things that you're looking for. If I was to take a black and white photo of this, like this would really stand out because this would be the lightest and this would be the darkest. Now, I still don't feel like this is finished because there's not really a range of some of the other values. There's not really, you know, if I made this kind of into a focal point and, you know, but the values, there's like a lot of different values in there. So I'm going to show you one more thing. It is my new, it's my new thing to collect. I was going to say obsession, but I'm not going to say obsession. It's my new thing to collect. And I don't know why I've never done this before. The other day I was fixing some iced tea. Let me know if you like iced tea. And it was the family size bags. And I had just bought tea bag paper. Did you know that they made this? I'm going to get to the painting here in a second. I got an entire roll of this tea bag paper, and it feels kind of like tissue paper, but it's stronger. Actually, in some places it's called wet strength tissue paper, which is very similar. But I actually bought that, and then the other day when I was making the tea, I thought, you know, I should save this tea bag. So I saved the tea bag. I let it all dry out, and it takes 2 of the tea bags to make a whole pitcher. And I was surprised that it unfolded, and when I took it apart, you know, I emptied the tea out of there and I took the staple out and all that kind of thing, and I kept the little, you know, the little string with the tea bag on there. And this is the tea bag paper that came from my tea bag, and I actually have 2 of them. But I wanted to show them to you because it is, I'm going to put it on this white paper here. It's basically just all one value. It's just all one value, but look, it almost fits like perfect on the paper here. And I don't know if I can find it here. I have done one thing on a piece of the tissue paper. I don't think that was it. I have a whole stack of papers over here, and I was going to see if I could figure out which one that is. Oh, I think it's this one. So this was that tea bag paper, and it just made all of these really cool textures. It absorbed into there. You can actually see where the back of it is about the same, and it's transparent so that when I collage with this, then it will just, you know, I'll be able to see through it. So yes, Marion, it does feel kind of more like a cloth. And if you ever kind of, you know, felt a tea bag, a lot of people use these for jelly printing, and I may do some of that on a live video for one of the words. So we'll see. So tons of fun, and they're transparent. So then and let me show you this too. I'm getting off topic of value to create on here, but this was the paper towel that I laid the tea bags on top of. And of course I'm going to save the paper towel too, because look at this, that where it puddled, you know, the tea bag kind of, and I had the paper towel folded in half, so it created 2. So I have all of these tea bags now. And there was another one. This is, I told you it's my new favorite thing. This one is lighter. This is a chai tea, so it was lighter, whereas the other one was just like a regular kind of tea bag. And it was just the individual size. And you can see how it's a little bit smaller. So I know, it's so pretty. So a beach theme painted. Oh, Sue, I need to see a photo of that. That sounds really cool. So since I was doing, since I was doing the tea bags, I don't know where I put this other one. I have another one that's drying, and I don't know right off where it is. I don't see it. It's another one, and this one is cinnamon apple, and it created this red. I wish I could find it. I thought that it was like right here. I don't see where it is. Where's my other tea bag? Okay, if I find it, I'll show that one to you too. It was, what? really confused why I don't know where it is. Because it wasn't, I hadn't emptied it out yet. And I really don't. I'm kind of bothered now that I can't find it. Okay, let me get back to this here. So, if you ever want like some fun paper to play around with, try some tea bag paper. But I just wanted to show you because it's all one value, and I would need to do some other things with that to add some interest to that. So I'm going to take my brand new other little favorite thing, which are these little parchment papers, and I'm actually going to do the color. So if you didn't pick the color, either fuchsia, lavender, metallic, or this royal fuchsia, and choose which one you would like to see me do the value in. And I really do not know where that tea bag is, and it really, do you ever get like fixated on something like that? And then I have all these things sitting around, and I'm like, it's right here. It's right here somewhere. And I just don't know where it is. And I don't know why. I don't know why I can't find it. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get and I'm going to find it right after I'm off the video, right? That's how that works. I thought it was in a container, and that's what I was looking for, and I don't see the container. Okay. Gotta focus. Okay, I'm going to start with some white. And the white that I'm using is this Crafter's paint from Hobby Lobby, right? The Crafter's collection. And I'm just going to have a little bit of that. Oh, and I'm going to put it this way. I didn't bring any black over here, so that is my problem. I saw Marion say metallic, so I'm going to use metallic. And I'm going to have to put it this way because I don't think you'll be able to see the paint. Ooh, this is a really dark anyway, so this might be more like a value kind of down over here anyway. And I'm going to use a flat brush. This one will probably be pretty good. So in the white space, so I'm going backwards here. In the white one, I'm going to have white, but I'm just going to have the tiniest little bit of the metallic in there. And oh, this is like the perfect width. You know, when I was working on my degree, on my bachelor's, I had to take a lot of classes where I had to create, right? And hi there, Julie. And I had to create these value scales. And it was kind of difficult to get them, you know, the variations in between. It's still not dark enough. This metallic is, it's very runny. But when we did these value scales, we had to have them all an even color, like all even within the space inside there. So I don't know that I'm doing that very well with this one, but we'll blend that out a little bit and it'll be better. But this metallic is pretty runny and pretty thin, so I'm not getting a really good value from it. Let me see if I mix it up a little bit more. Maybe I will. So basically each time I'm getting a little bit more of the paint and less of the white. That might have went a little bit too dark there, but I think I can kind of spread it out. But here's the thing, when you are creating, check your artwork and see if you have like a full range of values, if you have from light to dark. That could be the thing that is making your artwork feel like not finished. And like I said, if you take a black and white photo of it, that could really help. I'm taking a drink here. Oh gosh, Marion. A couple of weeks ago, you may have seen a photo that I put and it said 5 years worth of work. I laid that all out on a table and I let some of my friends pick a piece of artwork. So yes, I do have all of those. I'm going to go ahead and rinse out my brush because now I still have too much white in it and I want to be able to get a darker value. And since I didn't bring any black paint over here, I'll end up doing these last couple. So really, like here in the middle, I have 8, but like right here in the middle should be just the color itself, just the color without any white, without any black. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get just this metallic. Yeah, so I do have all of that artwork. See, this is pretty similar to this last one that I just did. It got a little dark between here and here. So I may come back and go ahead and start adding some black in there. And before I forget, I do have a couple of things that you may be interested in because I am going to be going live again this week. And it will be on Wednesday at, I wrote down at 1 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you are on my text list, I will be sending out a text. If you are not, you can just put text there in the comments and I will make sure that you have that link to sign up to get my text messages. But I'm going to be interviewing one of my mentors. And I have done an interview with him a couple of times before, but this time we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, and it'll be Wednesday at 1 p.m. I am going to set up an event. I'm just trying to go over this a little bit to see if I can get a little bit darker value here. And I'll definitely start adding black to these last ones here. But we're going to be talking on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll set up an event so you can mark going on the event. And then you can, so I'll finish those. And then this one up here, once I have the black, I'll do that too. So I will make sure and post this. I did not finish the texture one, so I didn't post that. And I will finish this one. And then I'm probably going to do a post of all 12 of the wow words, you know, the word of the weeks up to now. So on Wednesday at 1 p.m., I'm going to be interviewing Stu McLaren, and he has written a book. So we're going to be talking about his book a little bit and some different things that are coming up. So that's Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And if you have ever thought about doing something to create an income, you'll want to watch. Like anything. If you've ever thought about wanting to create an additional income, a source of income, like come and listen, and we're going to talk about his book. I just finished it a couple weeks ago. So on Wednesday at 1 p.m., I'm going to be live, and then I will also be creating an event on April 1st. I had mentioned at the beginning of the video is my 5-year anniversary specifically of going live on Facebook. And that falls on a Tuesday, but I think I'm going to do a special fun little live that day. So I'll be live the 31st, I guess it is, the next Monday and next Tuesday. to kind of do a little celebration for that. And I'm also going to be live on April 10th. But on April 10th, I'm going to be live inside of the Create-a-thon group, which we have been doing since July, and we're doing our next Create-a-thon. And if you are not in that group, just put Create-a-thon, and I will make sure that you get an invitation into that group. And we're going to be doing basically an all-day Create-a-thon. And the theme for this Create-a-thon is Art in Bloom. And as you can imagine, there's going to be a lot of probably flowers, right? A lot of blooming things, a lot of fun techniques. And that is going to be on the 10th of April. And I think my time is 11 a.m. I'm going to be creating an event here on my page for that, but you do have to be in the group to be able to see those. And I also wanted to mention, with all of these live videos, especially here on my page, the best place now to be able to see those is on my YouTube channel. If you have not went over there, subscribed, and checked out the videos that I've started putting over there, ever since February 19th, I have saved those videos and put them onto YouTube. So you can see a couple of the WOW videos. I've put them into a playlist. It'll take a little bit of time, but my goal is to put all of my past videos here on YouTube from the past 5 years, or here on Facebook from the past 5 years over onto YouTube. So if you wanted to go watch watercolor videos, you could go in and you could be able to see the videos that I've specifically done on watercolors. If you wanted to see and binge watch this whole series of these WOW, these words in these notebooks, you know, by the end of the year, I'm going to have 52 of them, and those will all be in a playlist. That is really going to be the best place for you to be able to come and watch the replay of the videos, is to go to YouTube. They will stay here on my page for a month, but they're kind of hard to find, right? They're kind of hard to find over here. So they'll be much easier. Right now, it is underneath my name. But if you just put YouTube in the comments, then you'll be able to, you know, I'll make sure that you have that. So lots of things going on. Lots of things going on coming up into the month of April. I have a retreat that I'm hosting at the beginning of May in Florida, so that is coming up. And summer always seems to be a busy time with different things coming up. So Marian was asking, how's the shimmer on the light valued ones? There's not as much shimmer, like you can see definitely more in those, but you do get a little bit of that. Because it's mixed with the white, you're just not getting as much. I will make sure, and after I add the black, I get the black to white, white to, you know, the grayscale in there. I will post a picture of this, and I will have the texture one that I started last week that I need to finish, and I will post both of those. So I appreciate you coming to watch Art in the AM and the WOW series that I'm doing, and just being interested in learning more about the elements of art. I'm going to be talking about the principles of art. I have some other kind of monthly themes as I'm going through the words, and it's a way for me to be able to teach you a little bit more than just a technique or something. It's a little bit more in depth of teaching some of the things that I miss doing from when I was a high school teacher, and using some of the things that I learned as I was working on my bachelor's and then my master's for art education. And it's really something that I wanted to keep passing on to, you know, to you, and have a little bit more structure to what Art in the AM is. So I hope that you're enjoying that, and I am enjoying going through the words and just kind of, you know, doing like a little bit more of a deep dive on the words. So I will be back on Wednesday, and you can be watching for the event for that, so you can mark going if you want to watch that. The replay will be up on my page here, but I am going to be moving that one over to YouTube as well. So if you would like to watch that, look for the event, and you can look for the other events that I'll be putting up too. And I will see you next week. I hope sometime during this week you take some time for yourself and create. And maybe you've learned a little bit more about how to look at values in your artwork. So until next week, I'm going to talk about form. That is the last element of art for next week. I'll see you then.